commend you on your summary there on the challenges that our armed forces face, not just in stepping forward as they occasionally have to do to support other government departments when strikes take place. Actually, the armed forces that I know actually relish the opportunity to show their flexibility, their versatility to step up, but not when you have rail, bus, highways, border police, ambulance, nurses, and even baggage handlers at Heathrow all choosing to strike at the very same time. And this is just simply unprecedented. It's not what the armed forces is really designed for, as you say, and it's almost taking advantage of the liberties, exactly as you described. They have a day job to do, to watch our backs. And it was, I think, exposed today, the shocking standards in which some of these people are living with. And we should say that we train them very, very well indeed, arguably the best in the world, give them fantastic equipment. But some of the accommodation they're living in, both the Army, the Air Force, and indeed the Navy, is really below par. And I'm pleased we had an opportunity today to ram home the message to the government to say we need to be proud of our armed forces. They don't get to vote to go on strike. They've had a menial pay rise indeed. Nevertheless, they step forward. And if we want our armed forces to continue to be the best in the world, we have to pay them well and we have to look after them in sensible accommodation.
Yeah, 100%. And Tobias, in just a second, I'm going to get you to outline, if you can, some of the poor conditions that these people are actually living in now. Our brave military heroes and veterans. I am desperately disappointed that one day I'm going to sit here or in our other studios in Paddington and I am going to be confronted by images of a shivering homeless veteran doing up a sleeping bag outside a disused military barracks that is going to be used to house people who've just come over the channel. And Tobias, we hear a lot, don't we, about nurses. They do a tremendous job, 100%, no disputing that. We hear a lot about paramedics. We hear a lot about hospital porters and hospital cleaners. But behind all of that and behind all of these strikes, there are men and women in military uniforms stepping in to fill that void. And I would argue that maybe if our list of priorities was done correctly, they should be the ones in line for a pay rise and better accommodation before anybody else.
I 100% agree with you, because if you don't look after our armed forces, if you don't pay them well and give them a good accommodation, don't forget they spend more time in their barracks than they do on operations as well. This is, the welfare. This is their family. This is how they, the places where they relax and separate themselves from their day jobs. If you don't look after that, then they will vote in the only way they know how to, and that's with their feet. They will leave the armed forces. And can I just stress that our world is getting more dangerous, not less. We're going to rely ever more on our armed forces. So if we don't look after them, we don't increase that budget to 3%, then we will suffer, not least because of our security concerns and responsibilities, but also because you won't have this backup to step in when the occasional strikes do take place.
Tobias, there is an argument that because our armed forces are basically banned from going on strike, that they therefore have less leverage when it comes to getting better pay and better conditions. And I will defend, by the way, to the death, the rights of various different medical personnel or train drivers or whoever else to go on strike. That is an important right, and I get that, and there's lots of freedoms associated with that. But it shouldn't really come down to it, should it, for our armed forces? It should just be a moral duty from our government to look after them. And I can't help but feel, Tobias, right now, why would anyone want to join our military?
Well, join our military because, you will learn more about yourself, you would gain in confidence, and you'll be serving your country in the best military in the world. And your nation will be proud of you, as indeed will your parents when you finally march off the parade square. That's why people should join.